How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Sneakers and Spirits, the YouTube show where we talk kicks and whiskey. And if you can believe it, this is episode number 10. You know, it feels like just yesterday I was thinking about how I would do episode 1, if I could even do it. And just like that, here we are in the double digits. For those of you who have been here since the very beginning, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for your continued support. Thank you for sticking around. We've got lots more to do, so look forward to that. If you're just joining us, I hope you enjoy. And if you do, please be sure to subscribe to get more of this stuff. And hit the comment section. Let me know what you want to see, what you want to hear about. And I promise you, I will do my very best to make that happen. Now, with all that said, we've got a show to do. And in this episode, I'm excited to be doing a tasting from a bottle of single malt Scotch that was loaned to me by a friend of mine. It's supposed to be really good, and yet still be on the affordable end of the pricing spectrum for single malts. And word has it, it's loved by both experienced whiskey drinkers and beginning whiskey drinkers. So there's a lot of good value in there as well. So let's get right to the main event and check out Highland Park 12 Viking Honor. And this is the Highland Park 12-year-old Viking Honor single malt Scotch whiskey. The packaging is plain cardboard, but the plainness of the material is made up for by the exquisite design. I mean, these symbols, these etching type designs are examples of art you'd see right on Thor's hammer. Or if you play video games at all, in the latest installment of the God of War series, on the swords and shields of the characters in that game. On the side here it says, "I am a reflection of my ancestors and their values. I keep them close and continue to learn to pass on those values to future generations. My name is all I truly have. Let it be a legacy of honor." They really lean into that cultural aspect of it, and I respect that. They're not changing anything in order to appeal to everybody. They are very clear on where it is they come from and are very unapologetic about it. Let's take a look at the bottle itself. But look at that. Look at that bottle. The artwork is partially very, very lightly embossed on the box. But you see it once again on the wrapping around the cap, and very, very elegantly etched. I don't know if you'd call this etched, but it's texturized onto the glass itself. Highland Park 12-year-old Viking Honor single malt Scotch, 43% alcohol by volume. That's a beautiful bottle. In fact, it feels like if I had a bottle of this myself, I usually keep boxes that look nice, but I would just toss this, stick this right on the bar. That is elegant looking. Of course, with their H symbol right in the middle there. Very nice. Let's pour ourselves some of this. Just a little bit for now. Now I'm gonna try a method of smelling this whiskey that has been done for a while, but I recently learned from a whiskey club that I joined. Basically, if you're not familiar with it, it's a way of apparently getting to the core of the smells that are available to experience inside of the whiskey. And basically, what you do apparently is you take your hand, cover the glass, turn, so you get a good amount of the whiskey on your hand, rub, like you're trying to moisturize your hand, just the palms of your hand, cup, and smell. And apparently, I'm getting a toasty smell on there. It's a toasty, nutty smell. I don't know if it's going to be indicative of the whiskey itself, but apparently what that does is it kind of primes your senses to experience the whiskey once you smell it directly. So, a little bit more. What I'm getting here is I'm getting that same nuttiness, that smokiness to the taste, to the smell rather. And I'm gonna try it again. There's almost there's a fruitiness as well there's a layer of fruitiness to the smell that, combined with the whole experience of it, it's almost like a fruit soda type of smell, if that makes sense. It's not supposed to. Now that I think of what I said, I don't think that's supposed to make sense, but that's what comes to mind. Let's take a sip. Cheers. There is some peatiness to it, but it's very, very little. In fact, it's gone. Right now, after that sip, by a few seconds ago, it was completely gone. What lingers is a spiciness. If this makes sense at all, imagine peppering your steak too much, and in a bite you get too much pepper, where it's almost a spicy bitterness kind of right here, the upper part of your mouth towards the back. The nuttiness and the smokiness carries over into the taste, and I am getting some fruit-forward notes. Kind of a fruit-based dishwashing liquid smell to it. Weird, I know. But imagine that, kind of like an orange-scented dishwashing liquid. And I know, because that's what we have here in the house. It's fairly complex, although it's not as complex as what is one of the more complex whiskeys that I've had in the past. In one of the previous episodes, I discussed Booker's, and that was a revelation to me in terms of how complex whiskeys could really be, because you would have an experience of it in the beginning, and as time passed, your experience of that same sip changed from beginning to end. This does not have time to change your mind. It doesn't have time to play with your senses, because the finish on it is very short. Now, what about value? When talking about value, a lot of things, in my opinion, come into play. You're talking about price. You're talking about the quantity that you get for the price. But you're also talking about, is this something that you would be able to enjoy on a daily basis? So that comes into play as well. Another thing is it good enough? This is going to be a contentious point, but is it good enough to share with the people around you? Is it not outlandish enough? Is it not out there, too out there for the folks who matter to you in your life? Because in my opinion, drinks are meant to be shared. And so you could get a really good bottle, but if it tastes, way out there and is a very, very much an acquired taste, then for me, the value drops significantly. This is something I could drink every night. Again, it's not heavy. It's not overpowering. It's not bold, which might be a negative in some people's books, and in certain respects it is. But just like a fruit juice or a soda, that's something you could drink every day. In terms of wine, it's like a Beaujolais, which is, in some circles I've heard, kind of the soda of wines. This is something I think you could go with everything. And so, in terms of value, I think $40, $50 for a bottle of this that checks all those boxes and can be appreciated by a lot of people, that you can easily, in my opinion, share with those who matter to you in your life. I think you've got a pretty good bottle on your hands with Highland Park 12.